Hi, everybody. I love that everybody's introducing themselves and telling where they're from. That is just awesome. I love to see that people are coming and watching these from all over the place. Before I start, I'm a PHP programmer and have been for 16 years. And if you're not a PHP programmer, this is going to look absolutely ridiculous, okay? But PHP's mascot is an elephant. And a long time ago, a good friend of mine named Damien Segui created the first stuffed PHP elephant, and they've become collector's items, and there's now probably over 50 of them out there, and SiteGround just did one. And we have SiteGround elephants. Isn't that cool? They are so adorable. My wife loves this one more than any of the other ones. They got the feet, they got the ears, and of course, the SiteGround logo. So just had to start with that. Say thank you, SiteGround, because those are very cool. And if you want one of these, they're running a naming contest right now, so you can actually win one. To the best of my knowledge, and they are not for sale. And trust me, I've tried. You can't bribe them out of them either. But you can win one if you want to get one, if you're a PHP programmer or you know one, okay? Okay, so let's talk email funnels. Let's see. There we go. Email funnels, a primer. We're going to be talking a lot about Fatbeard's Pirate Coffee today. That's our sample site. But I'm doing more than just Fatbeard's on this. I actually have a site. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm not here to promote my particular products, and it's a niche market anyhow. I doubt any of you would be interested. But I'm actually doing all of this as I talk to you about it. So sometime, hopefully in February, March, I will share with you what I've learned. And if possible, I'll share with you some numbers. But this is another one in a series. We're going to talk about email funnels this month. Next month, we're going to talk about sales funnels. And they're a little bit different. And you're going to see how. We're going to allude to some of that today. But before we get into that, let's see. Yeah. Before we get into that, let's take a look at what we've been doing with Fatbeard's Pirate Coffee. And okay, let me. It's not wanting to cooperate. I think if I do that, there we go. Okay, I want to share this screen. And let's drag the notes over here. Okay, now you should see Fatbeard's Pirate Coffee. You'll notice I've gotten a little, I've gone a little further now, okay? Last time I told you I specifically had not dug into branding or any kind of logos or anything like that, simply because I wanted to get a minimum viable website up and running. I wanted to get a product up there and get it ready to sell. So I did that. Well, now, as you can see, I've got my little logo up there, and I'm also doing several different things with that logo. One of the things that I'm doing is I've got it on my emails now, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as we go forward. So let's swap back. Hey, I'm getting to be a pro at this swap thing. Nope, that one. Except for the fact that I have to keep dragging things. I need a third screen. Okay. But that's where Fatbeard's is, okay? It's still basically what it was, but I've installed a couple new plugins. We're going to talk about those and talk about the plugins that I'm using, because it's very important to me that you understand which plugins I'm using so that you can install them yourself. Now, one of the things that I need to do now that I'm actually selling some products out there is I need to stay in contact with my customers, both those that have bought from me and my potential customers that are just come sniffing around. And so that's where email funnels really come into play. Email and email funnels come in, help you stay in contact with your customers. Now, make that a little smaller. There's a couple different types of emails that you can send to your customers. Thankfully, the same plugin will handle all of it. The first one is what we call transactional emails. These are receipts that you send out. These are notices that you send out to your customers, your terms and conditions changed, or you're going to be shutting down for maintenance or something like that. And things like password resets. These are all transactional emails. Now, the ones dealing with orders, WooCommerce already has a place built in for all of these. And the plugin that we're going to talk about in a little bit, MailPoet, will let you style all the WooCommerce ones. So you've got one place that you can handle all of this, and it makes it really easy. The other kind of email that you send out is your marketing email. And quite literally, this is every other email you send out, okay? If it's not a transactional email, it is a marketing email. And you kind of need to get into that mindset and start thinking about the fact that everything that you do, every touch you have with a customer is not only marketing in their eyes, but it is a chance for you to do some marketing. They already see it as that. You need to understand that. So that means every time you send an email to a customer, you need to be putting your best foot forward. How we do this is I use MailPoet. Now, I've been doing email since 98. And from 98 until about 2008, I actually ran my own mail server. And this is something that I will never, ever do again. Oops. There we go. This is something I'll never, ever do again. Running a mail server. The two servers that I will, or services that I will no longer run, are a mail server and a DNS server, because they are the easiest to hack. They're the hardest to secure. You really have to focus on it. And so I've turned it over to the experts. One of the experts that I choose to turn it over to is MailPoet. I installed MailPoet, and then I went to mailpoet.com and created my account. Now, one of the things you have to do is you have to authenticate with MailPoet, and you'll fill out your account. They'll give you a key that you can put into the plugin, and it'll say, hey, we know that you've created an account, but you can't send emails yet, because they want to make sure you're on the up and up. Now, I don't know what their process is. I imagine it can't be too terribly difficult, because they approved Fatbeard's Pirate Coffee, and we're not a real company, okay? So it can't be too serious. Although I was upfront about the fact that we use this site for teaching, for SiteGround, and maybe that's why, because they like us. But when you set it up, be prepared. It's going to take about a day before they answer, or before they give you full access. In the meantime, you can add sample email or test emails, email addresses that you own, that MailPoet will allow you to send test emails to. So the first thing I did was add cal@calevans.com as my test email, and then I can go ahead and create my emails in Fatbeard's Pirate Company and send out test emails all day long. Then once I got my authorization from them, then it turns on full, and I can send to any of them. Like, my wife is my designer, although she did nothing on here. Nothing you see here was designed by her. Simply, I tell you that because she does a much better job of it than I do. This is all me doing this. So this logo came from Canva and stuff like that. Just, don't think that she does this kind of stuff. But now I can send her emails, because she's not at calevans.com. So I can send her test emails. I can send my friend test emails. That kind of stuff. Most of the time, you're going to be sending email through MailPoet's service. You don't have to. I do recommend that you do it. They're a good service, but you can send it through a variety of other systems, including SiteGround. And you might want to look at that, especially if you don't have a large list. You might want to send the email through their service. The thing I like about it is MailPoet's free, and it's seamless. It's free up to 1,000 subscribers. At the 1,000 subscribers, you should be making money off of your system. So you should be able to make the decision whether you want to go with them or go with something like SiteGround's built-in mail server. But you've got a choice at that point. Okay. So what do we do now that we have this up? Well, the one thing I want to tell you is do not set up a newsletter. Newsletters are those monthly regurgitations of things that you've read online and that you send out, and you call it a newsletter. Here's the thing. Nobody cares what the top 3 articles that you read are. Nobody wants random facts about your dog, your family, or your neighbor. I ran a program for 6 years for developers. And starting in year 2, I started a monthly newsletter. And I ran that monthly newsletter 3 years every month. And then I moved on. I had to take a break for about 3 months. You know what I found out? Nobody cared. It did not affect sales one bit. It did not affect my mailing list one bit. If I stopped publishing it, it didn't affect anything. So I eventually just let it die. Well, here's the kicker, though. They don't care about yours either. That's not why people are subscribing to your mailing list, is to get your monthly newsletters. You need to stop inundating customers with stuff they didn't ask for in the first place. If you really feel the need to write these endless paragraphs about your daily life, start a family newsletter. At least they have to pretend to care. So what do? Well, you start setting up email funnels, and you put people through these email funnels, and hopefully the end of that is that they make a purchase. Now, a lot of people talk about email funnels. That's a fancy marketing term for just a series of emails. I've seen them described as an email funnel is a journey of discovery you lead your customers on to show them why they can't live without your product or service. I'm not going to lie to you like that, okay? An email funnel is nothing more than a series of emails you send a lead to convince them to buy. Technically, it can be any series of messages. You can have a Instagram funnel, you can have a Twitter funnel, you can have a Facebook funnel, however you want. Right now, we're going to stick with email funnels, but next year we might actually talk about funnels in other mediums. Now, we've told you a little bit what they aren't, but let's tell you what funnels are. Funnels are targeted. Not everybody who joins your mailing list will get added to every funnel. Funnels serve a specific segment of your audience. Now, for Fat Beard's Pirate Coffee, I can have a funnel for whiskey enthusiasts. I can have one for rum enthusiasts and one for tequila enthusiasts. Although, honestly, I can't imagine what tequila-infused coffee would taste like. It's either going to be horribly nasty or it's going to be the greatest discovery ever. I'm going to actually have to get some good tequila and try that one out. But each funnel that I have can have the same message or can have the same offer, but the message is tailored to who I'm talking to, the persona I'm talking to. Funnels are structures. They're not just a random email you send out to your rum enthusiasts every now and then. There are crafted series of messages that you're going to hone over time so that they convert. And convert's another one of those marketing terms that marketers love to throw around the term like convert. All convert means is to buy, okay, or to take the action that you want them to take. Most of the time that is buy. When you create your first funnel, it probably won't work. You probably won't have a rousing success and sell millions of units of whatever you're doing. But it's the base that you're going to build on. You don't give up after the first time you send one out and it fails. Like any good marketer, you tweak, you test, you change this, you change that, you keep going. Because the more you do it, the better you will get at figuring out exactly how to talk to your target audience. So here's the big picture. Someone clicks on a button and gets sent to one of my lead magnets. Okay. In my case, in the case of Fat Beard Pirate Coffee, I've got a pamphlet called How to Make the Perfect Cup of Coffee that I'm offering for free. It's a PDF. When somebody clicks on that offer, they exchange their email address for my PDF and they get added to my mailing list. Now, since this person probably doesn't know me because this is a cold lead magnet, and by the way, lead magnet's another one of those fancy marketing terms that means something you give someone in exchange for their email address. That's all it means, okay? Usually it's electronic. Sometimes it's physical. Sometimes you're going to ship something. But that's all lead magnets are. Now, since this person doesn't know me and I don't want to get too heavy into a sell right away, So I tag them in my mailing list as cold. I give them a category as cold because they're cold traffic. All I really know is that they want to make a perfect cup of coffee. So I also tagged them with perfect cup because they got my how to make a perfect cup of coffee PDF, and I don't ever want to send them that offer again. That would just annoy them. Since they came in as cold traffic, I'm going to add them to my cold funnel. Okay. And my cold funnel serves one purpose, and that's to warm them up, to get them. Remember, we talked a couple months ago when we were talking social media about trust, no like trust. Okay. My cold funnel is going to get them to warm up and get them to know me a lot. Okay. And we're going to talk. My first funnel does have an offer. It's got a sampler pack of coffee. And we'll talk a lot more about that next month and how to build that out, as a product and how to deal with that. Let's talk a little bit about traffic temperature. I said my traffic is cold. In the no like trust scale, my cold funnel is for people who are not there yet. They don't know me. So if they don't know me, they can't like me. And if they don't like me, they probably don't trust me. Now, once they purchase something, even something small like my sampler pack, they're no longer cold traffic. At that point, they're either warm traffic. If they bought my sampler pack, then they're probably warm traffic. They haven't fully committed to me yet, but they'll give me a little bit of money. Or they're hot traffic. If they bought something big, then they're hot traffic. And then I tag them accordingly because that changes what funnels they are eligible for. If, on the other hand, they immediately bought my 5-pound bag of rum infused coffee, they're hot. Okay. They can skip the warm and all that. They are the people that I want to stay in touch with. They're my inner circle. They're the potential subscribers to my new Fat Beard Pirate Coffee Sampler Club. So these are people that I want to tag as hot and I want to stay with. So back to, I'm kind of keeping an eye on what's being said over here. Yes, the slides are just headlines, although the follow-up email to this webinar should have a copy of the emails that I'm about to read you, okay? I don't expect you to copy them, but because they wouldn't make a difference to you because they're written for something else, but it will at least give you a structure to go by with this. So, back to our funnels. I've got a cold lead. We know they love to make a perfect cup of coffee, but I don't know anything beyond that. So I need to convince them to be part of my tribe. And again, tribe, you'll hear a lot of marketers throw that word around. That's marketing speak for they bought something from me. So I do this by introducing myself and telling my story. I send this email 1 to 2 days after they've downloaded the lead magnet, that free thing I gave them. And here's the script that I would use for Fat Bear the Pirate Company. Now, I'm reading Fat Bear's Pirate Coffee. I'm reading you emails. Obviously, since Fat Bear's Pirate Coffee is a fictional company, I don't actually send these out, okay? These are examples of emails that you would do. But my first email is my story because people are buying from me, so they need to know me. Hi. I hope by now you've read my How to Make a Perfect Cup of Coffee pamphlet, and I hope I've caught you right in the middle of enjoying your own perfect cup of coffee. My name is Cal Fatbeard the Pirate Evans, and I am a coffee addict. I've spent a good portion of my adult life and a lot of my teen years during school pursuing that perfect cup of coffee. I've taught to you some of what I've learned, but not everything. The biggest thing I learned is you can't make a perfect cup of coffee until you have the perfect beans. Now, I've tried beans from all around the world. I've tried every roast possible. I've even bought unroasted beans and roasted them myself. Now, one time, I roasted them in an hot air popcorn maker. That was an interesting experience, but it did not make a great coffee roaster. But trust me when I say it, I've had some really great cups of coffee, and I've had some really bad ones. Now, as I was trying all of these out, friends began to ask me questions like, have you ever tried this? Or why does Starbucks coffee taste burnt? Or will it work if I do that? So I started sharing what I learned with them. This mailing list that you've just joined started out as those few friends of mine who just wanted to keep up with everything I was learning so that they could try these things too. And some of those are still on this list all these years later. I hope by joining this list, you do learn something. Honestly, if you don't learn anything in the first month or so, please unsubscribe, because I'd rather not clutter up your inbox with more emails that are just going to interrupt that perfect cup of coffee you're drinking. There's an unsubscribe link at the bottom of every one of my emails. Click it when you're no longer getting anything from what I send you. Oh, hey, I have located a dang near perfect bean, and I have it roasted to the point where the flavor is just absolutely amazing. I've put 4 ounces of it, which makes 2 good cups of coffee, in a sampler pack along with my rum infused and my whiskey infused coffee. Now, this bean is the basis for all of my coffees, and it's that good. I'd love to send you this sampler pack for free if you'll cover the shipping and handling. If you're interested, click the button below. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to send you an email called How Coffee Changed My Life. No, it's not a multi-level marketing pitch to get you into my downstream. It's just some nutritional and health facts about how coffee can be really good for you. Be on the lookout for that. Have a great day. Cal Evans. Yeah, actually, Cal Fatbeard the Pirate Evans. Okay, let's look at what we did there. The first thing is I introduce myself. I start building that like of know, like, trust, okay? This lets them know they're not just dealing with an AI. I'm a real person with a real backstory, although, like I said, that's actually a very fake backstory. They know a little bit more about me, and hopefully I'm building that like in the know, like, trust. Second, I gave the reader an offer. It's a very low-touch offer. Hang on a second, I'm about to sneeze. It's a very low-touch offer. No pressure. Hey, if you like this, click the button. But I left the sales loop open, okay? I told them exactly what to look for and when to look for our next communication. I said, tomorrow I'm going to send you one, and the subject line is going to be this. That keeps that conversation going. Now, this email will be enough for some. Some will risk the $7.95, which is the shipping and handling on a sampler pack for those here in the US, just to sample it and see. For others, they're not quite there yet. By adding that last part to the email, I'm setting things up. Even if they don't buy from this one, the interested ones are looking forward now to tomorrow. Now, if they do buy from this one, you need to tag them as warm. However, even if they do buy, don't drop them out of this funnel just yet, because they're expecting an email tomorrow, okay? Because you promised them one. So that's our first one, the story. Here's our second one. Just the facts. Now, this is the second email I would send to my Fatbeard the Pirate's cold coffee funnel. Hi, whatever their name is. Got another perfect cup of coffee? I hope you do, because did you know that studies have shown that coffee is actually good for you? The Mayo Clinic on their website says coffee offers protection against Parkinson's disease, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, including liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. And Harvard Health tells us that coffee's been shown to give possible protection against Alzheimer's, as well as some forms of cancer. Now, all that's great news, but here's how coffee saved me. In college, I hit a bit of a rough spot. Things weren't going well for me financially. My grades, well, let's just say they weren't great. And my love life did not exist at all. Many of my friends were worried about me and my mental health, and for a while there, I was too. I'd stopped drinking coffee there for about a month, and I was sinking deeper and deeper into a funk. Later, I found out that clinically I was showing signs of early depression. Then one day, a friend of mine invited me out just for a cup of coffee. You know, that afternoon afterwards, I noticed I felt a little better. Nothing had changed. I even had to bum the $3 to pay for the coffee from my friend. But I was feeling better. I picked back up my 2-a-day routine, and I started feeling even better. About a month into this, I'm feeling okay now, and my grades aren't showing it, and my love life still doesn't exist, but I'm feeling better. I started to do some research, and sure enough, there have been studies, including one by Harvard Medical, that show that coffee actually fights depression and can make you happier. Now, I'm not advocating that anyone drop their meds and chug a pot of coffee, but for me, it really was a turning point. I was right on the edge of slipping into full-blown depression. Coffee and the help of some good friends kept me going and brought me back. So now you know why I cherish my perfect cup of coffee. And I really hope you're enjoying it too. Now, if you've not done so already, click the button below and let me send you what I consider to be the perfect blend of coffee out there. It's specially roasted in our roasting center, and I personally sample most batches just to make sure they're getting it right every time. I'll send you that sample along with my rum and my whiskey samplers for free if you'll agree to cover the shipping of $7.95. Okay, that's it. Enjoy your perfect cup of coffee today and every day. Have a great one, Cal. Okay, so let's talk about what I did here. Notice, first of all, I didn't promise them another email. If they've already bought, I don't want to inundate them. Okay, so they've gotten 2 emails from me. That's acceptable. If they haven't bought yet, they're going to get another one, but I've not promised them another one. But that's okay because they're now used to getting emails from me. But I did not leave the sales loop open on this one. And again, I gave a sell, but not a hard sell. There's a button there, but it's, we're having a conversation. And oh, by the way, if you want to taste something awesome, click here. Okay. If the reader clicks at this point and buys, then I flag them and drop them out of this funnel because they took the action I wanted them to take. If they didn't, I got one more email in this funnel that I'm going to send them. So let's talk about email 3 in the story, facts, FOMO email funnel. I assume everybody knows what FOMO is, fear of missing out. We want to let them know that if they don't act, it's going to go away. So if they haven't clicked this far, let's give them a little push. They need an incentive, so let's give it to them. So here's a potential script that I would use. Hi, first name. Look, I hate guests who don't know when the party's over and it's time to go home. And I'm kind of starting to feel that way myself. Obviously, you enjoy the finer points of coffee, or you wouldn't have joined my mailing list. And I'm dying here to share with you my favorite blend so that, because I'm so convinced that you will enjoy it, I'm even willing to send it to you for free if you just cover the shipping and handling. But I don't want to wear out my welcome. So this is the last time I'm going to mention it to you. If you click the button below, you'll get 3 4-ounce packets of coffee, regular, rum infused, and whiskey infused, which, by the way, is my absolute favorite for cold pressed coffee. That's enough to make 6 cups of coffee. The only thing I ask is you pay the shipping and handling. Now, you might be able to get 6 cups of coffee at your local diner for $7.95, but chances are good that coffee's been sitting on the burner behind the counter long enough, so you're going to have to use a metal spoon in it because a plastic one will just dissolve. And given that you already know how to make the perfect cup of coffee, I'm offering you 6 gourmet cups for only $7.95. Now, this offer is good for 24 hours. After that, you can still buy the sampler packs online for $2.95 each, plus shipping and handling. But this particular offer will disappear. You have to promise me that when you get your sampler pack, you're going to drop me an email. Just hit reply on this. I'll get it. And after you make that first cup, because I'm dying to hear what you think about it. Have a good day. Cal, Fatbeard the Pirate, Evans. Okay, let's talk about this one for a bit. This is the last one in the funnel, okay? We go all in. Buy it now or it goes away, okay? We're not quite emphatic like that, but we do let them know that this is a limited time offer. That last line, though, is very important. It's a marketing technique that's called thinking past the sale. Now, this is marketing speak for talking to the customer as if they've already bought it. If you talk to them like that, mentally, they move, or at least some of them, will move on from should I purchase to should I email Cal? Well, if we've gotten them to thinking about that point, they're as good as our customers. Mentally, they've already purchased. It's just a matter of getting them to make the clicks. Now, once you send this email, you need to tag this customer so that they will drop out of this funnel. And we also never send this customer back into this funnel because they've got the tag. Okay. This should not be the same tag you use if they click and buy and drop out. This should be another one that says they finished this funnel and they fell out the bottom. So we've talked about building a funnel, and I've given you 3 examples, and I'm really trying to break this down. I don't want to be one of those people that talks about you need to build funnels and you need to do this, you do this. I'm trying to show you exactly the steps you need to take to do this. You need to build these 3 emails. You need to make them into a funnel. Tagging them and all that might take a little bit of time to figure that out, but it really varies on what system you're using. MailPoet handles it differently from MailChimp, and you can do this in Constant Contact. Whichever system you're using, the concepts here work. It's just a matter of the mechanics. But what do we do when somebody's not in a funnel? Do we just leave them alone? That's the worst thing you can do to your mailing list. When someone is in one of your funnels, they should never get any other emails from you. If you send a blast to your email, it should not go to anybody who's currently in a funnel. This is like having a conversation with a friend and saying, hang on 1 second, and starting a commercial in the middle of that conversation. And then once you're done with that, oh, now what were we talking about? Okay, it's going to ruin the flow of your funnel if you do that. So all of your email blasts should filter out people that are currently in a funnel. But if they're not in a funnel, you need to stay in touch with them. This takes a lot of effort and creativity. Now, how often you do this is up to you. I would suggest no less than once a month. Okay, if you're sending 1 email a month to your email list, you've probably got a newsletter at that point. You need to back up and rewatch the part of this talk where we talked about newsletter and how you need to get rid of that. I've seen people discuss weekly, and I've even seen people say that they mail theirs daily. Honestly, daily is a lot of effort. Now, if you've got a large list and it is converting well, meaning people are buying things, and you can afford some help to actually do it, get somebody to write this stuff for you, then by all means, go for it. Because the more conversation you can engage people in, the more they're going to know you. The more they know you, the more they should like you. The more they like you, the more they should trust you. So, but for me, I have found that I can sustain weekly. So I'm going to do a weekly. But what do you send them on a weekly basis? You send them things that happen to you, around you, with you, but are relevant to what you're talking about. I would never send a email out to my Fat Beard Pirate Coffee mailing list on how my dog won Best in Show, unless he won Best in Show because he had a bag of coffee tied around his neck and I bribed all the judges. That makes it relevant. So we've got a very narrow segment of stuff that we can send out. But we can send stuff out. And honestly, if you keep your phone handy, you're going to get a lot of opportunities for pictures, and you're going to jot down stories and stuff like that. Most phone cameras these days are better than all the cameras I had when I was starting out in marketing. So get out there, work those cameras, and look for opportunities. Here's one that is a sample of this. And again, these sample emails will be in there. I seriously don't suggest you copy them unless this actually happened to you. Then by all means, feel free to do it. So here's a sample email that I would send out to someone when they're not in a funnel, but I want to keep in contact. Hi, whatever their name is. Yesterday on my work, I stopped by my local bagel shop to pick up breakfast for my crew. Now, while I was there, the local fire station chief came in to do the same thing. Now, I struck up a conversation with him because I wanted to thank him for all that he and his crew do for our little community. Then I had an idea. I invited each of them to drop by our shop for a free cup of coffee. Just grab the whole crew, come down, and get a free cup of coffee and a free 1-pound bag for each first responder that came in. We gave away 30 bags of coffee. Now, it's a great time for everyone. And below, you'll see some pictures of the event with my crew and the firemen and the first responders all hanging out. And we just had a great time. Oh, by the way, we also sold 20 of our 5-pound bags to those who just liked the idea and wanted more. Turns out The chief is a fan of our product, and he just hadn't had a chance to come by and say hi. Guess who has a fire station subscribing to their monthly subscription plan? This pirate. Talk to you soon, Cal, Fatbeard the Pirate Evans. P.S. If you're running low on coffee or you'd like to see what all the fuss is about, click here to get a free 1-pound bag of the Chief's favorite blend. There. That's all it takes. Actually, I would not say free. I need to take that out. You can buy a bag of the Chief's favorite blend. I was at a local bagel shop. I ran into the chief. I said hi. We arranged an event. I took pictures of that event. I got an email to go out to my list. That's all it takes. If you've got a camera, you can be doing this all the time. Just keep your phone handy. Keep your eyes open for opportunity. And hint, every encounter is a potential opportunity. These don't have to be deep and meaningful emails. They do have to relate back to what you're talking to your customers about, okay? I'm a scuba diver. I would never send a scuba-related email out to Fatbeard Pirate Coffee unless it's us drinking coffee underwater or something similar. It's got to tie back into the conversation that you're having with them, the reason they joined your list. You send these out once a week and make sure you leave the conversation open with, hey, I'll see you next week, or hey, I'll talk to you soon, because this mentally prepares them for the fact that they will get another email from you and it'll be coming soon. Your email list may be the most important asset your company has. But if you only spend time building, only if you spend time building it and nurturing it. You've got to spend time on building it. And once you've got that list, you've got to nurture it. You've got to have a conversation with them. You've got to give them a reason to stay involved in your tribe. And you have to build funnels like the one I showed you that follows the story, facts, FOMO framework. If you do these things, then you can reap the benefits. The industry norm is for a healthy list to generate approximately $1 per name on your list per month in sales. Now, it's a benchmark, so you might not hit exactly $1. On the other hand, you might be $2, okay? But that seems to be the industry norm in talking with the experts out there. So the larger you can build your list, the more you can make from your list. So get out there, start building your list, and build that first funnel.